Jason and Reed, and
Yes.
we're glad to have you here too.
We're happy to be here. I love the snow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
We had you come up here at the coldest part of the year
I know.
so far, just to get ready for Christmas.
That's amazing. And I'm sitting here in the studio staring at a screensaver with blue skies and
That's how we
warm
survive in
water.
the winter up here, you know.
I
Looking
know.
at pictures of warm water and palm trees
I'm
and
sure.
warm stuff.
Yes.
We're glad you're here, and thanks for bringing lunch, and thanks for coming by and seeing us, these artists on the Centricity music label. And we're going to get to know them here a little bit, hear some music and that kind of thing. So, David, you're from Midland, Texas, Texas Tech grad, right?
True. Red Raiders.
Red Raiders.
Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Exactly. You bet. And football pro, just watching their team a few weeks ago on TV. So
Oh, it's an embarrassing
been a
year
rough
for us.
year for them. They
Yeah.
score a lot of points. Got to get a little defense for that team down
We
there.
forgot how to do the defense thing. We just forgot how to do that this
Yeah.
year.
Tell us about yourself. You come from a big family. How'd you get into the music industry, Christian music industry, that kind of thing?
So I have 5 brothers and sisters.
Mhm.
So I'm one of 6. How did I get into the music industry? It's a very spiritual story.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and tell it to you.
All
I was 15 years old, and I
Mhm.
was on a mission trip in Mexico
Hmm.
with my youth group. So it's 25 boys and 25 girls.
Yeah.
And the first night we got there, I was in middle school, so all the boys sat on one side of this tent and the girls sat on the other.
Of course.
And this gentleman, his name is Tim, and I would love to meet Tim someday. I hope that I meet him again, but I don't even know what his last name was. But
Okay.
Tim stood up with a guitar to play some worship songs,
Yep.
and he started playing his first song, and I went, "Oh, this is pretty good,
Mhm.
right?" And I looked over to my right, and all the 25 females had the most googly eyes I could ever imagine. And I said, "Well, I'm gonna learn how to do that."
Gotta be a musician.
That was when the Lord's calling on my life began.
That's hilarious.
So,
Well, I'm sure you have other motivations. now.
totally, yes, absolutely. Because that doesn't actually work in practice, right?
Right,
It's
right.
much more in theoretical.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
exactly.
that was the 15-year-old me's reason for picking up the guitar.
Sure. Well, you went on from there. You were on the NBC television series The Voice.
True.
Season 2, is that right?
Season 2.
How was that?
I mean, it was really, I was flash in the pan. I got kicked off immediately on that show. But it was fun, man. It was one of the funnest things I've ever done, actually. Because we filmed for like a month,
Okay.
and they cram you in this hotel room with a whole bunch of other people who are really talented and are ridiculously interesting. And you film for like an hour a day, and then the rest of the time you just hang out with each other. It was like kids'
Okay.
camp for adults. It was
So
delightful.
that's the inside scoop on how these television shows are made.
You heard it here.
You know, you see the reality shows. You say, how much is this contrived? Is it real? What else happens that people might not know when you're doing a TV show like that?
Yeah, so with The Voice, I'm not sure about the other ones, but with The
Okay.
Voice, the competition part is real, right? So you
Okay.
sing, and that all actually happens. It's a big
So they
room
don't
full of
decide
people.
ahead of time who's going to win. It really is competition.
If they do, then I'm very angry. Because that means they
didn't
pick
tell
me.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like most of the backstory and all that is filmed way in advance, over
Okay.
over a month period, right?
Okay.
My family even came in and they interviewed my
Wow.
family, and you do some
You
things
must
like.
have a lot of confidence to have your family interviewed.
Oh,
about you.
totally. I mean, they did a feature on me, which is why
Wow.
people mention it, right? And,
Uh-huh.
and there was some residuals throughout the season
Okay.
of people continuing to talk about my little audition because of the story that they told, right?
Uh-huh.
That was why we're still
Right.
talking about it right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of we're gonna put this together way before and make it look like it all happened in 15 minutes, but really it's a month worth of filming.
Okay. All right. And it's on the TV screen. We see it for 25 minutes or whatever.
Totally.
Get to know you. So, David Dunn, up and comer. Love the new song, I Want to Go Back.
Hey, thanks.
Is that from your life? Is that kind of your story?
So here's how I work as a songwriter. If you listen to one of my songs, or really even like a project, you listen to like a whole album, and it's a snapshot. You're hearing a snapshot of some period of my life. So the last record I put out would be like 2013 and 2014, and those are the, you know, you listen to those songs, and this is what my life looked like in those periods of time. And so I've got a new record coming out in February, and that snapshot is like the last year and a half. And I told you I got a bunch of brothers and sisters who all live in Texas still, and 21 nieces and nephews.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
They're being fruitful and multiplying.
Did you guys get together for Thanksgiving? You must have had a house full, huh?
No. So what happens is, tangent here. What happens is Christmas and Thanksgiving, one of them belongs to my brothers and sisters' in-laws.
Sure.
And so in-law was this year, and so I actually stayed in Nashville.
Okay.
Next
Next year.
year.
Yeah.
Next year. Okay, but anyway.
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah,
you.
no,
That's good.
totally.
I want to go back.
I like the interruptions. Great. Yeah. So records. This one's coming out in February. Almost the entire record is inspired by kind of a tragedy that my family went through almost exactly a year and a half ago. I was back in Midland playing a show, which I'm never in Midland. That's kind of a crazy part of the story, actually. And I was kind of making the rounds, seeing my nieces and nephews. And I went over to my sister's house. She has 2 little girls, and I was playing with them, and then they went down for a nap, and my 2-year-old niece just didn't wake up from the nap.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, that is what mostly I ended up directly or indirectly writing about for this whole record. And so all of the songs sort of break into 2 categories. They're either about heaven, right? Because that's a big part of what I'm thinking about.
Absolutely.
Or little kids, right? And I want to go back is me thinking about the latter, is me going, you know, what is it about children that you know, kind of invests or infatuates my mind, and especially in the Bible, I think when Jesus speaks about kids, it's always in these overwhelmingly positive terms. But I almost always refer to kids in negative ways, right? Molly, stop acting like a child. That sort of thing.
That's true.
I do.
Yeah.
So, you know, Jesus positively refers to it, even like asking us to be more like kids, right? That's usually what he's doing, especially when it comes to faith. And the difference, I think, in my brain, what I worked out was me as a kid and me as an adult. The difference between those 2 things is that when I was a kid, really the only things that mattered were that Jesus is, right? That he exists, and 2, that he loves me. And that was it, right? And then I grew up, and I felt like I needed to scale this theological mountain, right? And I needed to grasp all of these kind of ornate, out there concepts, and it stopped becoming things that I knew to be true, and I started believing them to be true, right? I became so smart that I was actually stupid. And so I want to go back as like it's a song to where I'm going, hey, I'm gonna stop all this stuff that I think is important and go back to what I know God thinks is important, right? So that's what that's all about.
Oh, tremendous. Well, I think you're going to do it for us here.
Let's do it.
Okay, David Dunn. I want to go back.
I was a kid, I was sure I could run across the ocean, and I was gonna be an astronaut. It was you, it was me, I had everything I needed. Faith could even move a mountain. Then I grew up, then I got older, then my life got tough, and I grew up. I wanna go back to Jesus loves me, this I know. For the Bible tells me, so I wanna go back to this little light, gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine.
I was a kid, I didn't care to keep up with the Joneses. I was just happy that they lived next door. It was you, and it was me. I had everything I needed. Your hands were big enough to hold the world. But then I grew up, then I got older, then my life got tough, and we grew apart. I wanna go back. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me, for the Bible tells me so. I wanna go back, this little light, gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. Wanna go back, wanna go back. Oh, back to yes, Jesus loves me. Oh yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. I wanna go back. Oh, I wanna go back. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. I wanna go back. This little light, gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. Wanna go back. Wanna go back. Wanna go back. I wanna go back.
Terrific. There he is, David Dunn. I want to go back here at the WWIB Studios Communications Center. We're going to take a little commercial break, and we're going to come back.